Hi, welcome to today's training, and today I'm going to show you another case study that I shared 1 year back for our members and what happened after that. Okay, so same thing, I'm going to use the investment quadrant, the business, the management, the financial and valuation. I'm going to show you how to use the investment quadrant and use it on companies, and you piece it them all up and what happened after that. But before I move on, right, I want to talk about disclaimer. So whatever I'm going to share today are for educational purpose. It's not a recommendation to either buy or to sell. So let's move on. So today's company I'm going to talk about is this company called Padini. It's a Malaysia company listed in the Malaysia Stock Exchange. So basically, what type of business is in Padini? Basically, they are in the business of fashion, and they focus on selling their fashions to the women, to the men, and to the kids. This is how a Padini store look like if you visit Malaysia in, let's say, KL. Okay, this is how it looks like, and it looks like this throughout the whole Malaysia too. So they have 5 business segments, which are Vinci, Padini Crop, Seeds, Yifeng Hang, and Mickey. So this is the business segment that they actually own. So for the Vinci brand, right, the business segment, right, they own brands like Tizo, Vinci, Vinci Accessory, which targets mainly the woman market, selling them, clothing, bags, accessory, and even shoe. Then the Padini Crop brand, okay, which own brands like Padini Concept Store, Padini Authentics, Padini PDI, which are the fashion brands that targets both men and women fashion. Then you got this another brand that they own called Seed, which under the Seed brand, which is similar to Padini brand that targets men and women fashion. Then they have this business segment called Yifeng Hang. Yifeng Hang basically holds two brands. One brand is what we call brand outlets, which you can see from the left. Another brand is called P&Co, which you can see from the right. So brand outlets targets customers who are want to look very stylish, but yet they don't want to pay a high price for the fashion. So they want to pay a value price for the fashion. So this is very very similar business as compared to Uniqlo. So P&Co targets fashion for younger ladies, which you can see on the right. And they also have this segment called Mickey, Mickey brands, which targets the kids segments. One thing you need to note that 90% of their total revenue are derived from Malaysia, and these are the revenue contribution of the company in 2016 when I share it. So Vinci accounts 17.5%, Padini 33.3%, Seeds was 10.4%, Yifeng Hang is 35.5%, Mickey is 3.3%, and the others is 0.02%. So the top two largest contributor to the business is actually Padini and Yifeng Hang. So now let's look at their number of outlets. How have their number of outlets been growing for the past few years? So if you look at Padini, right, from 2004 to 2016, right, their number of outlets actually increased from 174 outlets all the way to 190 outlets. So you can see the outlets actually increased. But do you realize that their outlet actually decreased from 281 outlets all the way to 190 outlets? So despite their outlets, right, decreased from 281 in 2014 to 190 in 2016, right, their revenue continue to increase at a rate of 15% per annum. Due to the company, continue to become more efficient, and they also even close down all the non-performing outlets. So it's not about the number of outlets keep increasing, but whether the number of outlets can really be performing instead of losing money. So they actually clear all the non-performing outlets and keep all the good outlets behind. The next thing is that they throughout the years, right, the management have helped Padini to build up a very very strong brand of fashion even before foreign players like H&M and Uniqlo even come into the scene. Okay, this is all the brands that they own. So they have built a very very strong branding inside the consumer mind in Malaysia. The other advantage about Padini is that they don't really rely on one brand, but instead they have very multiple brands, which all the brands, right, they build have very very strong branding in nature. Okay, so next thing is I'm going to talk about their business model. So basically consumer will go to all Padini outlets to shop, which generate sales for the business. So these are all the outlets that Padini have, and because all these customer goes to this Padini to shop, right, and Padini, right, can collect the data when they buy. So basically, throughout the years, right, Padini management have been building the IT system that can collect the consumer data. Okay, so the every customer that come to buy from them, right, they'll collect all their data on the behavior of how they are spending the money. And once they got the data, right, they will use this data and do branding, right, to the customer. And that's why they can create a very, very strong brand. And this IT system, right, have been taking years to build, and they finally build out and to understand the buying behavior of the consumer at their store. And next, that in the past, right, if you look at this chart, right, uh, Vinci was the largest revenue contributor to the Padini sales in the past. Okay, but throughout the years, right, the Padini brand have actually overtake the Vinci brand as the largest contributor. But while the Padini brand is still growing, right, Padini actually start to introduce the brand outlet concept, which is under the Yifeng Hang business model. Okay, which is a very, very big hit to the consumer market in Malaysia, which is why, right, you can see that the brand outlet revenue for the first time in 2016, right, becomes the largest contributor of Padini. And both these brand, right, brand outlets and Padini are still growing very, very fast. So if you look at the number of outlets, right, of Padini and Yifeng Hang, Padini got 47 outlets and Yifeng Hang, right, got 40 outlets. And by let's say you look at 2016 thing, right, you realize that Yifeng Hang become the largest contributor of Padini for the first time at 35.5%. And even though Yifeng Hang got lesser uh, outlet as compared to Padini, it shows you that the revenue generated from each store in Yifeng Hang is much higher as compared to Padini. But of course, Padini is still doing very well, and these two segment is the growing segment of Padini right now. And if you look at this, is the management of the company, which is Yo Pan Chuan. And this guy, right, I would say, right, he's a very, very visionary guy. Okay, why? Because I read all their annual reports, right? And if you read in the 2000 annual report, he already start mentioning that he's expecting foreign competitors to come in, right, into Malaysia to fight with Padini. And throughout the years from 2000 until now, right, he has been preparing, right, for all this competition many years ahead. So he knows that branding is very strong and start building the strong brand. And the next thing about uh, fashion business, right, is that you must be able to adapt to the fashion trend that is changing. And this management, right, I look at their track record, right, they are able to adapt very, very fast to fashion trend, and they are able to rectify the problem even very fast. So let me give an example. So in 2015, right, the management are sharing that they're having problem with their Vinci brand, which caused the brand revenue, right, to actually consecutively, right, decline from 2013 all the way to 2015. So from as high as 223.7 million ringgit, right, all the way to 199.3 ringgit million ringgit. And what the management do is they immediately brought in new people to handle this business, the Vinci business, and bring the Vinci business back to on the fashion trend. So the management even mentioned that in annual report 2015 that they are very, very optimistic that the decline of the Vinci business will stop, and which is true. When you read 2016, right, business, right, Vinci revenue start to increase by 14.4%. So this is why I say this management is got very, very good track record, and they can turn around loss making fashion to and bring it back to a fashion trend again. And also, if you read throughout the years of the annual report, right, I find the management, right, the way they do things and their behavior, they are rather quite candid and transparent about their problem, on what they are facing and how they are going solving it. Okay, so for instance, Yifeng Hang and Mickey, right, are actually a loss making segment, right, in Padini, but the management, right, able to turn it around, right, and make it profitable. And of course, the best thing is, right, the Yifeng Hang turned out to be the fast growing, and now is the largest revenue contributor to the company alongside with Padini. Okay, and next thing about the management is I realize is that the management also very, very conservative in nature. And you can see that, right, the company have been piling up a huge cash position, and they have invest, their money into unit trust to support the dividend of the shareholder. So they are very, very conservative. They don't pay out the cash. They make sure that the cash actually makes some money, and the money is made from unit trust, and they take that and pay to shareholder. And the next thing is that cotton price has been falling for a long time, and the shareholder actually tell us the management why they don't want to venture into buying more cotton at a cheap price since cotton price are dropped. But what the management actually reply is that they are there's speculation. They don't want to go and buy, and eventually they cannot use the commodity. What they do is they want to focus on their expertise. And from the way the management talk about it, right, you can see that they are very, very conservative in nature, which is the thing that we like about the management. Okay, so now let's look at the financial performance of the company in the past few years. So if you look at Pardini for the past few years, right, you can see they have very superb revenue growth. And if you look at the growth of their revenue, is 15% per annum growth year on year. And you can see from the line trending upwards, very, very beautiful track record. Then if you look at their net profit, right, is also a superb increasing net profit for the past few years. And their net profit is even more impressive. They are growing at 22.3% per annum. And you can see it's also a very beautiful line trending upwards. Next is you want to look at their cash flow and their capex, how much cash flow they are generating and how much capex they are actually spending to grow a business. So if you see their cash flow is also growing upwards, and the capex they are spending is most of the time is lesser than their cash flow. So the business continue to grow even more and more. Okay, so if you look at their profit margins have been rather consistent around above the 40 to 50% range, up and down. And if you look at their net profit margin have been very consistent between the 10 to 13% range, up and down. Okay, very, very consistent margin. That's what we want to look for. Let's look at their cash and investment over their debt. So if you look at their cash position, right, like I said, the management is very, very conservative and they have been piling up a lot of cash. You can see their cash in year 2000, right, was only 11 million ringgit. And right now in 2016, right, their their cash position already hit until 350 million ringgit. And this is their debt position. Their debt position is much, much lower as compared to the amount of cash position they have. So that's why I say the company is a very cash rich company and a very conservative management. And if you look at their return equity, is superb return equity of above 20%. Very, very superb, consistently above 20%. And if you look at their dividend track record, right, you can see that they have been consistently increased their dividend. Why are they able to do so? If you look at their net profit, right, they have been consistently increasing their net profit, and which is why they can consistently increase their dividend. Because as the profit keep growing, right, they can pay more dividend, and that's why you can see their dividends was in 2005 was like ringgit 9 million, and by 2016 they are paying 76 million ringgit. And if you are the early shareholder of Pardini, right, your dividend yield will be very, very high. Okay, so at the point of time when we were sharing about Pardini case study, right, the share price was at they were having some downtime, and their share price fall to as low as ringgit $2.42. And after we shared the case study and we see that the situation was temporary, then you see what happened to Pardini after that. The share price shot up, and their share price right now is ringgit $4.61 cents. So that's why now can you see that if you use the quadrant properly, right, you can really get result from investing in good companies. Okay, so remember to always use the business, the management, the financial, and the valuation to analyze the company, so you can get a perfect understanding of what the company actually do, and you can take advantage of it when the time comes. So I hope that you have learned a lot from today's training, and see you